Hello and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be playing some Dirt 4. A big thank you to the developers for sending me a code for this game and allowing me to play it a couple of days early. The first thing I want to have a mess around with on this game is naturally one of the more peculiar cars. This is the Crosskart. It's sort of a mini buggy kind of crazy looking thing, and I like my slightly peculiar race vehicles. Actually, one of the most difficult cars to drive I have found from my brief testing out of this game. A trick, I'm sure there are many tuning tricks that will help make these cars easier to drive, but an easy one that I found is brake bias. Put it up pretty damn high towards the front. 75%, you might even be able to get away with a higher percentage. I haven't tried any of the really high percentage. We'll go, no, I'll go 75, just because I've had a brief test with it previous. Yeah, you're going to want it because trying to get these things slowed down and not spinning them is surprisingly difficult with this. Now, we're going to do a little mini championship with these. I'm going to go to two different race events. The way that these Land Rush races work, we have a qualifying round as all of the buggies line up, a 6-lap, well, you can set the number of laps you want, but for this we're doing a 6-lap qualifying race. Top 4 go through to the A final, bottom 4 go through to the B final. I'm hoping we can make it into the A final. We will have to wait and see as the lights are out, and we've got a pretty good start, actually. We've got a pretty good start. The red buggy on the outside has got a little bit better than us. Let's not get the wheels of our vehicles connected. Can we get down into turn 1 first? It looks like we will, although we'll skate around on the bumps. On the exit, I think we've got away with that. We got a mega start. Very pleased with that one as we're going to slow it into the next corner. Right. It's all good. It's all good so far. One of the first things everyone is likely to be wondering is how are the physics and is it drivable on a controller, this game? Well, they've done an interesting thing actually with this. There are two kind of driving modes that you can go in. You can go in simulation or you can go in gamer. Now, I've only been playing this in simulation. Oops, it has gone for a little bit of a half spin. I've only been playing this in simulation. I'm playing this on Xbox One and I'm playing it on a controller. Have I had any problems? None at all. The physics are very good. It is, okay, you know, it's perhaps not quite as realistic as iRacing, but it is a very good physics engine in this. Probably the best of all of the Dirt games, and it's far closer. It's far more like Dirt Rally than it is, you know, the original Dirt that were quite arcadey. This one here is, yeah, very good fun to drive around, and with a controller, perfectly doable. I have no doubt it'd be brilliant fun on a steering wheel. I have absolutely no doubt it'll be brilliant fun on a steering wheel. But if you do not have one, can you get away with racing on a controller? Absolutely. You absolutely can. Now, the things to be watching out for, one of the big things that is, I say it's a challenge on here, but one of the things to get used to is the braking, especially with these cross carts. You cannot really get away with much trail braking. You've got to be really careful, got to really make sure you get it all slowed down in a straight line and then worry about turning. Now, in various different situations in rally cars and so on, yeah, you can get away with trail braking fine. It is a bit, let's say, a bit tougher than perhaps you might have experienced in previous games. Yeah, braking and steering, I know it's something you're supposed to try and avoid, but you could often get away with it. But on here, it's something to really be mindful of, especially with these carts, and that's part of the reason why I have put the brake pressure, or brake bias, sorry, so much to the front, is that if I get something a little bit wrong, we're slightly less likely to lock the rears as well. Whoa, we're going to go for a spin on our road, out a bit too wide, that's my bad, grab a reverse. We've got a big old lead, but that's all going to evaporate. Now, from that was not me being silly with the brakes, I just got a little bit carried away out wide and hit some bumps a tad on the awkward side. We were doing very well in terms of speed. We've got to try and do a little bit of work now. We're going to have to work for our final lap here. We're going to throw it up the inside at the last turn. No, we're not going to get that move done. We are going to have to find somewhere else past. Turn 1, perhaps. Are we going to be braver on the brakes than they are? Potentially, yeah, although we've got a big slide on the inside. That's not necessarily going to help our momentum. I hate those bumps. I absolutely hate those bumps through there, although we have kept pace. We're going to have to go up the inside here, I think. This is where we can get them. Can we stop it in time? Just. He's going to cut back, though. I'm going to fight back on the next corner. We're still side by side. I think I've got him. Yeah, looks like we have. around the final corner we go. Okay, a little bit of scare, mostly of my own making in this qualifying race. We will take a victory. Very close between the pair of us across the line. That's a good final lap after a small spin. I should point out as well, when I was talking about the driving and so on, I've got all of the assists turned off. So we've got no traction control, no stability, none of that kind of stuff. All of them are turned off. And with the kind of simulation mode, perfectly drivable on a controller. We're going to be starting from second position for the A final. If we can get down toward... Oh, actually, before we go, of course, repairing vehicles, a big part of any rally game, and I love the way that Dirt 4 does this one. You got your usual expected menus. There are a couple of interesting options. So you can clean the vehicle, for example, and I love that, well, we're only playing in free play at the moment. I'm not playing in the career mode at the moment, but I love that cleaning your vehicles keeps your sponsors happy. I'm assuming that'll, will impact how sponsors are when you're building your own race team in the career mode. So we will clean the vehicle. Now, you can choose to inspect the vehicle. So this will tell you how long, I believe, a more accurate amount of time for the various bits and pieces that you're doing here. Now, my car's not damaged enough to worry about the 30 minutes that it's going to take. You can also do a quick fix that will weaken the part, but you will get it to good condition faster. So, yeah, there's if you have a bad run, if you've got a lot of damage, there are options, and I really like seeing all of those options around the place. For this, we got away with relatively minor damage, a couple of bounces off the wall and maybe a little bit of tangling. Nothing terrible. So we'll confirm repairs. They will get everything all fixed up, and it only took us 8 minutes of the 30. Now, if you don't kind of inspect the things, or you can end up taking a little bit longer than expected, so you may end up getting penalties if you're really pushing it with the amount of time needed to fix a car. Again, really interesting ways of doing things, and will make career modes very interesting. For this little championship, and for this sort of racing, I think I'm the only one with a clean buggy. Yes, I am. I'm the only one that bothered to clean their buggy. They didn't clean the inside for me, though. Bloody hell. They cleaned the sponsor logos, but never mind. We are ready to go racing once more. Oh, I thought... Yeah, we can do jump starts. You can get in trouble for them ones. I saw the lights go out and I thought that was go. It was a fraction too soon though. Well, we're going to be in trouble for this. You can get penalties, as you saw there, for a jump start. You can get investigated for corner cutting. Sometimes you might not get in trouble. I have seen that the stewards you'll get a radio message saying you're being investigated for corner cutting. But if, for example, you lift off the throttle, you don't gain any advantage from it, you might not get a penalty. Whereas if you just go flat out jumping the corners, you probably will. It's, again, a more realistic approach, and perhaps a little bit more fairer approach as well. The game just doesn't just immediately penalise you if you're off the track. It does take into consideration, if you spin off the track and end up cutting a corner, you're not going to get a penalty for that one because you were drastically slower. We are, again, right, I wasn't expecting the level of speed that I've got going on here. I have got the AI on the toughest difficulty, and perhaps one of my small gripes with this game, and there are really only a couple of small gripes, is that the AI at the moment, certainly when it comes to these sort of races, you put them on the toughest difficulty and it doesn't really take that long to be able to compete with them. Certainly at the rallycross events that I've done, they weren't really that much of a challenge. Now at some of the rally stages that's a different story, and with some of the categories of vehicle, until you get used to them, sure, but I'm not driving perfectly, amazingly here, and yeah, we're pulling away from everybody, so it isn't perhaps not the toughest of games. It may well get patched and improved. I do seem to remember Dirt Rally itself had a similar issue, and they made the AIs considerably quicker later on, so maybe something that gets worked on. That is something to bear in mind. Also, there's no Rally Finland, which seems like a very odd omission for a game of all places not to include stages at. That seems like one of the weird ones to have chosen. There are plenty of stuff to be doing, but yeah, to have not included that as a location. Oh no! no. Bad things are going on with those horrible exit bumps. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do up anything more than an 8th place here with that jump start. I don't know if I can get far enough ahead, so that 15-second time penalty will... I'm not going to be able to win, I know that much. The podium, probably not going to happen, not in a very, very short race such as this one. It's going to be, what, 3.5 minutes, if that? So trying to make up enough time to become a 15-second penalty is a, tough order for me. We got away hugely with that one. The way we bounced off that inside mound of dirt, essentially, saved us, because it just spat us a little bit further around the corner, so that... the kind of half spin, half drift we were doing made it. Come on, Crosskart, we can do it. We've got one more corner to go. And more on here will get a finish. Don't know what position with all of the penalties to be applied. Please let someone else have had a crash. Well, it's technically first.
Put it behind you and move on.
Technically first, but the jump start didn't give me any advantage. Hey, we got 7th. We didn't actually get last. Did someone DNF? Wait, hold on. We want race results. Did someone DNF, or were we actually... Oh, no, we were actually just physically that far ahead. I love how someone in the B final was at 28.2. They were 2 seconds faster than me, and then they went back to normal laps. That was a massive lap. Did you jump half the track? I don't know. Yeah... Poor driving by me. That's a issue. But you'll get punished for those kind of mistakes. But you'll get punished in a way that would be, expected at a motorsport event, if you like. Right, let us continue on to the next round. Yeah, I know, it was terrible. It was terrible driving from me there. You earn money in pretty much everything that you do, as far as I can tell. As I said, we're playing just in a free mode and been earning plenty of money. So that I guess when I come to actually start a career mode, I'll have a little bit more than you might usually start with, so I can perhaps go for some more interesting vehicles. Yeah, it's nice that you're constantly rewarded. I'm using just sort of loan vehicles, so I'm earning slightly less than you would if you're vehicles that you currently own. It's nice to have your race team will be persistent through just about every single game mode that you play in. Now, this next track is one that I haven't driven with the Crosskart. I did a quick couple of tests at that previous circuit, so I guess that helped with the track experience. Here, don't really know what I'm doing. It looks fairly straightforward. I've gone for the shorter layouts of these locations. I think I did drive the long layout around here with the trophy truck. Didn't do very well with the trophy truck at all. I was struggling for pace in that one. Some vehicles just seem to suit me, and some vehicles just not working out. Top 4. Top 4 is what we need to be doing. I don't know whether it's going to have... No, it hasn't saved it. Right, back up to 75%. Apply all of the tuning, really got to focus. At a circuit that I don't know so well, really got to be mindful. I mean, we can go and do practices. You get 10, I think it depends on the difficulties. You get difficult settings that you use. You can get 10 practices. You get a limited number of restarts of the races. You can set it to different amounts. I kind of have it set to the default, which is 10 restarts. But I'm guessing if you go for lower restarts, you'll get lower number of practices, lower number of shakedown stages that you can do when you're doing a point-to-point. A normal rally, if you will. There was some... What was going on with the jittering there? Has our driver got the jitters going into this race? We need a better result. Now, don't go when the lights go out. Go when they go green. That helps us. You see, I'm watching the actual physical lights rather than the ones at the top of the screen. The physical lights are, I think, slightly quicker to react than the ones at the top of the screen. I wasn't quite sure if someone was going to fire up the inside. Oh, there's been a big crash on turn 1, and I was the innocent bystander in all of that one. The AIs will make mistakes, they will spin, they will roll, they will DNF, cars will break down on the stages. In one of the very, very first rally stages that I did, I actually saw a car parked up on the side of the road. There were guys waving flags to tell you that there was a stricken vehicle ahead of you. Things like that, just little details. All of the little details, that's what makes this game so very, very good. As we barrel into turn 1, not quite got the braking right through there. I have a sneaking suspicion we might not be doing quite so well here. No, I'm on the bloody... Come on, vehicle. We can get out of trouble there, maybe. This is not going... We're going to be in the B final for this. Oh, I'm having a few issues on the old control front here. Right. I don't know if the other two vehicles have actually DNF'd or whether they have just, fallen a long way back. Let's try and get the braking down into the first corner. That's more like it. They haven't DNF because I've just found one. One has just come flying past. No, we're fine. We're not going to spin it this lap around. Don't spin. On the way into these final couple of corners. We're going to get an overtake. Oh, no, maybe we're not. A little bit of a bump between the pair of us. I was hoping to be able to recover my way up maybe towards the top four. Doesn't look like that's going to be a thing that will happen here. Visibility in these buggies is terrible. It is absolutely abysmal. You kind of rely a little bit on the spotter. A lot of guesswork. The mirrors are tiny. The look behind is pointless. In fact, when I get to a moment that I can show you the look behind, when I'm not frantically scrabbling for control, we will... Oh, we're up onto our side. Now we're getting the hang of the circuit. Took me a couple of laps. Probably should have done a practice round. There's been a kerfuffle up ahead as we have been catching massively and we're bringing 7th place with us. Don't run across that bank. That's what got us in trouble last time. No. We've done it. We've done it all in. I clipped the bank trying to carry speed, and that'll spin you around, and now I'm driving far too raggedly. Oh, bugger it. God damn. It was going so well, and then it wasn't going so well. Oh, slow it down into that turn 1. Bugger. Yeah, you've got to be really mindful of these little dirt banks. They can screw you over if you aren't careful. Oh, we would have been right there in the fight for a 4th place had I not done that one, and had we not had the early incidents. Bugger, blast, and all of those things. Very, very big slide. I think we're actually going to get 6th, because I'm not sure if someone else hasn't DNF'd or crashed. Frustrating, however, that is the way that racing goes sometimes, and yeah, we're not going to progress. Well, I say we're not going to progress, we are going to get a final, so we have a chance to fight for that, 9th place overall. We're going to start 2nd in the final. Let's go and give our vehicle a repair. I guess we might as well clean it while we're here. Yeah, don't need to show that one again, thank you. The only thing we did a little bit of damage to the dampers. I'm suspecting that's just from clonking over the jumps. Likewise, the body, there was a bit of contact between between me and the other vehicles. So, yeah, we'll give that a we'll give that a repair, and then I'm not going to bother with inspecting. There's no need. There's not going to be any risk of it doesn't matter if they run a little bit late because we've got so much time to be working with. Right. Let's go racing. Let's have a successful final. It might only be the B final. I would have liked it to be... Oh, someone else cleaned their buggy. Somebody else brought a clean car. What is going on here? Cart or thing. Whatever we want to call these things. I can see a starting light. We'll watch that one over there this time around as we are going to get off and underway. While I am slightly annoyed at my own stupidity, we're getting a jump start. I like that it's a manually controlled start. It allows you to potentially get a little bit of an advantage, and it means you can make mistakes. It's not just a case of hold accelerator and let go with the game. Whoa! When the game has allowed you to start. Oh, now we're in the thick of the action. We have got work to do here. That's okay by me. I like racing. I like overtaking, even if there is just nothing that we can see. It's follow the clouds of dust and hope that you are on the track. I had to have a lift there because I was going to be running straight out into that red cart if we weren't careful. Around turn 1, I'm trying to take a tighter inside line to avoid everybody that's scrapping for position here. Ooh, we almost had a spin across there. That change of direction there is quite nasty across the bumps. If you do want a tip as far as driving on this game goes when you're running with the simulation and you're on a controller, the sort of hold the steering analog stick forward. You get slightly smoother steering. Now, I have for many years not been doing that. This game, I think, is going to make me learn it. Just for that little bit of smoothness. It's just a little bit easier, especially in vehicles like this. Now, the normal approach that I use, and probably will inevitably fall back into just old habits, is to kind of flick the stick to do small steering movements, that kind of thing. It isn't the smoothest. Normally, you can get away with it on racing games because they'll have smoothed out some of the steering inputs to allow you essentially to get away with that kind of thing. You can do it on here with most vehicles. You'll actually be perfectly fine driving it in that manner. But with the Crosskarts, because they are twitchy buggers and a lot more difficult to drive than an average vehicle, I would recommend the hold the stick forward. It's not too difficult a technique to learn either if you are plenty experienced enough with racing games. I am having problems making my way through the traffic. I think we've actually got good speed here. but there are cars everywhere where I want to be, and trying to find ways past is not necessarily the easiest thing. Don't do that again. No, not twice in a row. 2 races in a row, and I've cocked it up at exactly the same point, trying to dive to the inside. That's such a horrible mound of dirt. It is. I need to think of a good name for that horrible section. It is definitely the FailRace nemesis right there. Oh, there's been a kerfuffle on the way into turn 1. I think that gave me 1 position. Might actually give me 2. We can get away with hitting that one there a little bit. No, we can't, because I have to panic and bail out of that manoeuvre. I was going to end up in the side of somebody else's car. I've not made any good progress in this race at all. We're going to plummet all the way to a 6th place, unless we can make up a position at the final corner, which we can't.
That's 6th.
I threw everything at that. I had the speed there. I had the speed, but once you get stuck in traffic, it is so difficult to run. You've just got to constantly... no, that was a really, really poor... It was a poor round, but it was great fun. And that's half the joy of these games. You know, I came 6th. We threw everything at it. We had great fun in the battles. Lap time. I should be interested to see what were the lap time wise. We were, so what did I go? 26.3. We were relatively competitive. I think there's a couple of 20. Yeah, there's a couple of. Someone got a low 25 in our heat, but I don't think I got 25.7. I don't think I had a clean lap really in all of that, where I could, run the cars without having to worry about vehicles around me and trying to get out of the way of people. So, yeah, that was good fun though. I love the Crosskarts. As I said, they are perhaps one of the most difficult vehicles to get used to driving. There's something different, though, and I always enjoy racing. Something a little bit different. Dirt 4 is a hell of a game. It really, really is. That was a fantastically exciting round. There's plenty of different categories of vehicles for you to be getting stuck into. If you like the circuit racing, like these, you can. If you like the point-to-point rallying, there is a unlimited... Oh, someone went for a roll we never saw. Well done, good sir. It's an orange vehicle as well. Amazing. Yeah, there is the entire random course generator, which we will look at in my next video on this game. It's brilliant. It's absolutely phenomenal, actually. Yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.